If you're like I was, you probably spend way too much time at 2 a.m. running those retirement calculators over and over again. And honestly, it used to keep me up at night because here's what's really messing with your head. 64% of Americans are literally more terrified of running out of money than they are of dying. See, for most, running out of money is scarier than death itself. But here's the thing that really gets me. While you're lying there calculating and recalculating whether you'll have enough, research shows that most retirees are actually living way more cautiously than they need to be. See, we're so scared of touching our nest egg that we're missing out on the life that we worked decades to afford. And look, I get it. That voice in your head saying, what if the money runs out? It feels, well, so real. But here's what nobody else talks about. Retirees are spending only 75% of what they could safely spend from their savings. Think about that for a minute. While you're worrying about not having enough, you're probably shortchanging yourself out of thousands of dollars of experiences that you've already earned. And honestly, here's why it matters. Because that fear, it isn't just stealing your money, it's stealing your best retirement years. So, hey, I'm Jason. My wife and I, we've been living this early retirement thing for about 9 years now. And I've watched this money anxiety play out in real time. Not just in our own heads, but in countless conversations with people who have way more saved than they think they need. And here's the thing that blows my mind. 61% of people over 50 are worried that they won't have enough money to support themselves in retirement. But when you dig into the numbers, a huge chunk of these people are actually more prepared than they realize. They're just paralyzed by financial fear. And get this, even people with retirement accounts, people who have been saving for decades, only half of them expect to live comfortably in retirement. Meanwhile, research from the Center for Retirement Research shows that 15% of households are actually too worried. They think they're not prepared when they actually are. See, we've created this weird situation where people are so afraid of not having enough money that they're not enjoying the money that they do have. They're living like they're broke when their spreadsheets say that they're fine. Today, I want to help you figure out if you're one of those people who's financially ready but emotionally stuck. Because if you are, you're literally robbing yourself of years that you'll never get back. All because of a fear that might not even be based in reality. Now, I need to pause here and acknowledge something important. I know many of you watching are thinking, that's great for you, but I'm over 60 and I don't have nearly enough saved. Look, you're not alone. Recent data shows that the median retirement savings for Americans aged 55 to 64 is just $185,000. And about 20% of Americans over 50 have no retirement savings at all. So if you're in that boat, I hear you. The anxiety that you're feeling, it isn't irrational. It's based on real numbers and real concerns. Now, this particular video focuses on those who might be financially ready, but emotionally stuck. But I want you to know that I see you too. So for those without adequate savings, the fear isn't something to overcome. It's a real issue that needs real attention. And in future videos, I'll address specific strategies for those of you starting late or with limited savings. But for now, know that there are still options, from maximizing Social Security by delaying the benefits, if possible, or exploring part-time work, which about 20% of retirees are actually doing, or even considering alternative retirement plans beyond traditional 401ks. So if you're over 40 and craving real-world financial independence and early retirement advice, no gimmicks, just strategies that work, hit subscribe now. This channel is for realistic early retirement, not the quit your job and live in a van down by the river fantasy. When I first retired, it took me weeks to bring myself to book that dream trip to Thailand because I was terrified of overspending. Like I mentioned earlier, 64% of Americans fear running out of money more than they fear death itself. It feels surreal when the spreadsheets and numbers tell you that you're fine, yet your mind still holds you hostage in what-if mode. See, this disconnect between your actual financial readiness and your emotional reality, it can become, well, a type of prison. And you can think of it like owning a high-performance sports car, but never taking it over 30 miles an hour. You're way over-prepared, yet under-living. See, you have the fuel, the engine, the map, but the fear still keeps you parked in neutral. This perception reality split, it doesn't just cost you experiences, it erodes your confidence and steals the joy that you work so hard to earn. And when this fear outweighs the facts, you risk living smaller than your resources allow. So, why does this perception reality gap exist? Well, let's dig into the universal nature of this fear. When I talk to friends making six figures, they still tell me that they feel broke on paper. I recently read that 79% of Americans believe that there's a retirement crisis right now, and 55% doubt they'll ever achieve financial security in retirement. These numbers, they span all income levels, from teachers to tech executives and everything in between. High earners who hit high six figures, they still wrestle with the same doubts as modest savers. The fear is universal. It cuts across every profession and every paycheck bracket. Part of the reason is that we're constantly bombarded with stories of market crashes, soaring inflation. Headlines scream crisis, and our brains latch on to the worst case scenario. I think it was Global Atlantic that found that 67% of investors worry that their income won't last a lifetime. And that constant drip of anxiety, it trickles into every corner of our lives. Worrying about finances is like wearing blinders. You miss the wealth that you actually have. You scan for problems instead of possibilities. You focus on what might go wrong and overlook what's going right. This narrow tunnel vision, it feeds the same anxiety, no matter how fat your nest egg is. It's like staring at one tile in a mosaic. You never see the whole picture. You feel stuck, even if your numbers are solid. If you've ever lain awake at night doing mental math on your 401k, you know exactly what I mean. Even when our own numbers look fine, we scroll and we see bigger balances of other people, and we still panic. See, that's social comparison in hyperdrive. Suddenly, a $1 million portfolio feels like chump change if you measure against the biggest success stories. Meanwhile, your spreadsheets haven't changed, only your perspective has. You're not alone. I still get this feeling on occasion when I scroll some of the fire subreddits. See, recognizing that this fear is universal is the first step towards breaking free. But it's not just about the numbers. Your brain has built-in roadblocks too. During the COVID crisis, I was as afraid as everybody else. I sold some of my index funds and moved a good amount to cash, even though our plan was rock solid. Of course, in hindsight, I should have stayed the course and not sold anything. Nearly half of American retirees say spending their retirement savings triggers anxiety and takes emotional toll on them. Imagine your brain is like a car alarm that goes off at the slightest bump, even if you're parked in a gated garage. Every little jostle makes you panic. That alarm is your fear circuitry, evolutionarily wired to perceive risk, not opportunity. When you think about it, tapping into decades of savings, your mind whispers worst case scenarios. What if markets crash? Or what if I miscalculate? Those are survival instincts misfiring in modern clothing. And this built-in caution can derail even the best financial plan. You start second-guessing withdrawal strategies, delaying bucket list trips, and hoarding cash instead of enjoying the life you worked so hard to afford. Recognizing these psychological barriers, I'm talking about scarcity bias, loss aversion, and fear of the unknown, is the first step towards beating them. See, realize that your alarm is overreacting. The data in your plan, they're not wrong. Your brain is just stuck on hyper alert. Once you acknowledge the noise in your head, you can choose to trust your strategy and press start on the high-performance car locked in neutral. Next, let's talk about the knowledge gaps that are fueling your uncertainty. Even now, since we're only in our 40s, we're still learning new things about early withdrawal strategies, and we certainly don't have all the answers. The problem is, since we're in our 40s and not 60s, the answers aren't quite as clear or easy to find. Research shows that fewer than 1/3 of retirees have a specific income plan in place, leaving most without a clear roadmap to turn savings into reliable cash flow. What's more, 41% of retirees admit they don't know how to stage withdrawals from their accounts in a way that balances longevity, taxes, and market ups and downs. See, without a defined strategy, it's easy to freeze up at the moment of truth, wondering how much to take out, when, and from which accounts. It's like navigating with a broken GPS. You know your destination, but every turn feels risky, and you just can't trust the direction. The result? Well, many retirees default to overly conservative withdrawal patterns, hoarding cash while inflation quietly erodes purchasing power. Others tap too aggressively and wake up to a shrinking balance faster than they expected. In both cases, uncertainty steals peace of mind and often income. Recognizing this planning gap is crucial. Having even a simple stage withdrawal plan can turn hesitation into confidence. It shines a light on the path ahead so you can stop guessing and start living your best life. Now for the bright side. I'm going to tell you how you can bridge this fear gap with actionable steps. You don't have to wrestle with retirement anxiety on your own. Think of these as the 6 pillars that turn what ifs into what's next. First, establish a reliable income base. Create the foundational floor of guaranteed or low volatility income so essential expenses are covered before you tap the rest of your portfolio. Next, embrace diversification. By spreading your investments across stocks, bonds, real estate, and cash alternatives, this acts like a seatbelt, protecting you when markets wobble without halting your progress. After that, consider leveraging professional guidance. I read that people who work with financial advisors report substantially higher confidence in their retirement readiness. It said that advisor-supported households are 83% more likely to feel somewhat or very confident versus 53% without an advisor. Another thing you can do is draft a written income plan. Putting your withdrawal amounts, sources, and schedule in writing transforms abstract goals into clear action, reducing second guessing and emotional decision making. Next up, you want to automate and review. See, automated withdrawals matched to your spending needs, combined with quarterly rebalancing and an annual plan review, keep your strategy aligned with reality, not panic or fear. And finally, cultivate a life beyond just the numbers. Purpose and fulfillment outside of finances through hobbies, traveling, volunteering, or part-time work. Shift focus from the balance sheet worries to balance in life. These 6 pillars provide the what and the why. Now I'll take you through a step-by-step process, the exact how to put them into practice. Real quick, we pour a lot of heart and time into these videos, and your support truly keeps us going. If you found any value in our content, we'd be so grateful if you subscribed. It really does mean the world to us. Okay, so let's tie it all together into one cohesive action plan. Step 1, audit your guaranteed income. Start by listing every guaranteed income source like Social Security, pensions, annuities, to know exactly what's locked in before you touch your investments. Step 2, build a simple spreadsheet. Create a 2-column sheet, one for real expenses like housing, healthcare, groceries, and one for guaranteed income streams to see shortfalls at a glance. Step 3, create a gap filling plan. Use the 25x rule. Multiply your annual expenses by 25 to determine the size of your retirement cushion and cover any gap between spending and guaranteed income. Step 4, explore a guardrail portfolio. Allocate a slice of your nest egg to low volatility bond funds or ETFs that you won't touch for non-essential spending, giving you peace of mind when the markets are shaky. Step 5, do quarterly confidence check-ins. What I mean is, every 3 months, simulate your actual withdrawals against real expenses and review the effect on your portfolio balances to steadily reinforce trust in your plan. This regular practice provides an ongoing feedback loop, helping you spot gaps early and adjust before small doubts grow into big fears. You see, my friends, you're likely more prepared than you think. By shifting from fear-based paralysis to a clear, data-backed plan, you can reclaim years of joy and freedom. Remember, the worst thing isn't running out of money. It's running out of your life that you're too afraid to live. And if you'd like to know how we live comfortably in retirement on under $1,300 a month, check out our video titled How We Live Cheaply Every Month, our monthly budget revealed. I'll leave a link down below. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.